All right, and the next item on today's program is an item titled The Big Five by Dr. Jayarani Pillay. Dr. Jayarani Pillay hails from a family of ardent Sai devotees in South Africa and is the fourth generation of Sai devotees. She's a member of the organization for 52 years, and she currently serves as the director of the Sathya Sai Institute of South Africa and has served in the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization Education for 38 years. She has held position as Deputy Spiritual Coordinator for South Africa. She was a youth mentor. Personally, I can attest to her mentoring abilities and prowess in that regard. And she's also been an education coordinator in the KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa. She is also president of the South Coast region of South Africa, Sri Sathya Sai International Organization. She has been graduated by Sri Sathya Sai Baba in 2002 in his physical presence. She is a professional educator, psychology lecturer, counselor, and career guidance practitioner with a doctorate in educational psychology and an author to a book called Sayisha Sambashana and 2 other books professionally. And a Sai mother to many young adults, I'd like to call upon at this moment Dr. Jayarani Pillay for a segment entitled The Big Five.
My humble salutations to the divine lotus feet of our beloved Bhagawan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Dr. Narendranath Reddy, Chairman of SSIO, and Mr. Leonardo Gutta, Chairman of Sri Sathya Sai World Foundation, Dr. Samasiva Rao, Chair of Zone 9, and all respected delegates at this meeting, and all protocols observed. Having the great fortune of being blessed with Swami's profound teachings and presence in my life has allowed me to explore my spiritual journey like no other. I've been in Swami's orbit for 52 years. And it was only in the last 42 years that my spiritual journey has reached acme. This was the time when I ultimately realized my highest inspiration and aspiration, the richness of living life to the fullest. My love for God grew exponentially. We just had Mr. Leela Prasad on stage, and he has covered the big five. So he's actually done my work. So you may wonder, what am I going to talk about the big five? So I am not going to talk about the animals that Mr. Leela Prasad spoke about. I'm going to speak about the big five that our dear Bhagawan has given us. Okay? And the methodology that I'm going to use today is on music. Coming from the educare background, I'm going to use music here to bring out the big five through some of my experiences as well. And if you look at music, the lyrics of any song, a good song that has positive values, would bring out profound teachings for every being. And Swami said, he gave us a mantra, which is, God is. It's such a potent mantra, because if each of us can see the God in the other, even in the animals, then we will experience the God within. So, the 5 Ds are going to give you the experience of experiencing the God within. So it all began in 1989 in an interview with Bhagawan Baba. And in that interview, Swami spoke with so much of love and compassion about education. I was very young at that time, in 89, not realizing that my end journey would result in education. And coincidentally, there was another person in that interview, because it was a group interview, was also a director of Sai, yes, South African Institute. So both of us were there, but I went in as a teacher of Education and Human Values and SSE. And the whole interview was based on the five knowledges and education. Okay. So it was through this event that I learned to use the 5 Ds in my life. And these 5 Ds are dedication, devotion, discipline, discrimination, and determination. This assisted me to develop a deep understanding for the love of God. And I realized that these 5 Ds are the prerequisites for the love of God. Swami addressed us on education, and as time moved on, the true meaning of education was realized, and it was realized that it was not for living, but for life. And Swami spoke with so much of love and compassion. And that interview lasted for over an hour. And we laughed and laughed and laughed. And I know there were many speakers yesterday who said that you must be happy, you must laugh. And in that interview, we laughed. And when we came out of the interview, many people or devotees asked us, why were you laughing so much? What was Swami saying to you people? And you all know, with all of you that had experiences, personal experiences with Swami, he uses a lot of humor in bringing out his profound teachings. And in this particular case, we went out of the interview. Remember, it was an hour's interview. And then we had to realize, even it took a day or so, that these were profound teachings of the 5 Ds. And they were not something that we had to pass by or pass it by. We had to ponder on it. And that was a workshop for each of us as educators sitting in that workshop, in that interview, sorry. So normally, when Swami is sitting on his chair and you have a speaker, and the speaker normally gives a flower to Swami, and as the speaker speaks, Swami starts moving the petals of that flower. It's normally like a bud, and he moves it, and it allows it to blossom. Okay? And then Swami gives the same flower to the speaker. So what does that mean? Swami is so powerful, so much of spiritual energy that he gives you to uplift you, to see within, and to work with the Atma, okay, within yourself. And that flower is love. And if you have love, you will have dedication, discipline, determination, and discrimination. So I'm just going to go very briefly on each of them to give you the crux of each aspect. And if I look at dedication, I know a speaker yesterday, some of the speakers spoke about removing the ego. And that's what dedication is. If you can remove your ego from everything that you do, then you are moving towards God. You will be experiencing the Atma. Because when you live with the ego, you are living more on the material side of things, or looking at the outside world. Okay, so we need to turn inwards and overcome the ego and just accept that you are God and you're experiencing God. I'm not saying that you are God, but Swami says that you are God. Okay. Then we go on to devotion. Devotion is an expression of gratitude. And when you express gratitude to God, you're going to experience that love. Okay? You don't only experience gratitude to God, Swami says, you express gratitude for the air that you breathe, the soil you're living on, okay, and so forth. And many of us are educators here. We are leaders in the organization, or you may be a leader in any workplace. So we need to change first before we change others. And one way of doing that, Swami says, we need to have this love. We need to love each of ourselves first. Love yourself. And when you love yourself, the 5 requisites come in. And your only friend is God. So your other friends are just superficial friends. Your friend is God. Talk to God, and He will give you your answers. Okay, so we come to discipline, and we talk about living your life. How do you live your life in terms of discipline? Swami has given us many sadhanas, or many spiritual teachings. And you may also get these teachings in the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, the Bible, the Quran, okay, so forth. And Swami has given us the 10 principles, the 9-point code of conduct, the 5 human values, the 9 forms of devotion. So there's so many forms that you can choose to become disciplined. And physically also, you have timelines in terms of how you work and you prepare your life, so forth, right? So it means that you need to keep a routine in your life and you would become disciplined. And some of them ask questions, and they, in my case, and they ask me, how do you complete so many pieces of work in such a short space of time, or you deliver? Okay, it's because of the love of Swami you can do it, and discipline. Discipline is very important. And then I come to discrimination. So what is discrimination? Discrimination is choosing the right from wrong. You need to identify between right and wrong. And the most important aspect, you may ask yourself, what good have you done to humanity? Have you done better good to humanity? Have you reaped results in that? Or did you ask for results? So Swami has given us a concept, and we use that a lot in the pedagogy of education. It's the fundamental discrimination and individual discrimination. So if you are practicing individual discrimination, then you are becoming selfish. It's just for your own needs. But if you are practicing, or you are training yourself to do fundamental discrimination, then you are serving humanity with love. Love for God. Okay. And then we come, yes, I want to give you the analogy of a banana, and it is in one of the books as well. Swami says, when you remove the peels of the banana, it's like discrimination because you discard the peels of the banana. Similarly, you will discard all that is bad and you'll keep the good, which is the fruit within. Okay. Then we have determination. Determination is a very powerful concept, and that is resolution. So we must have the confidence that I will be able to do everything, and you do it to the best of the ability. Doing things or being determined to do things without perfection is not even very good. Okay? But being determined is good enough. And then you extend yourself to perfection. So we need to embark on the spiritual journey. I'd like to give you another experience of my own. I was doing seva 2 years back, and it was Swami's birthday, and it was the next day after Swami's birthday. It was a very tiring day for me because I was busy with drama. And I had fallen. I cracked my head here. I wouldn't say deep in, but I bled a lot. I had 4 fractures on my left hand, and only this year I had to go for a rotator cuff. I'm still healing from the rotator cuff. But that was all because of the fall that I had. And then you may ask yourself, I'm doing seva, and how did I have this fall? Why didn't Swami save me? But I had the faith, and you too. We are all placed in challenges. We all will have adversities, but we need to have the steady faith for God and the faith for yourself. Here I stand up, still doing seva because of the love of God. I didn't fail to say I'm not going back there. So that is the power of God and the love for God that comes within you. Okay? Okay, so the more we invest in ourselves, realizing that we are God, or the God is within, and we bring out this energy and look into the 5 Ds, which is the prerequisites for love for God, then this love for God is going to get you disciplined, going to get you determined, and to be disciplined. So that is very important. So I'm about to conclude that it is very important to have this love and to have this faith that everything that you place at the feet of the Lord, you are going to be successful. So if you have the 5 Ds, you are going to be successful in life. And you're going to be that iceberg. In the iceberg, you only see 10% of the trophies, 10% of how good and how successful you are. Only other people see that. But you know more than that. And if you look below the surface of that water, then you would see you were disciplined, you were determined, you used discrimination, you had self-confidence, self-satisfaction, self-realization. So with those words, I'd like to conclude with this song, and it is The Climb, Sai Ram.